Hello there, my Captain Play guys and gals. This is Captain Play Guy, here with my 10-year Playguyaversary. 10 years of making videos and doing streams. I got myself a cake to celebrate the occasion. It was delicious. Chocolate and vanilla with whipped frosting. On the face of it, it might seem like I haven't done that much online in the past year. Since the last Playguyaversary, I've done 9 videos on the main channel. I didn't stream for around 8 months, but I have made significant strides in my content. I've finally had a few videos break triple digits again. I've been slowly updating my channels to be more in line with my new direction going forward. I've made new friends and acquaintances. I've taken a few steps/risks, depending on how you view it, to improve myself and my content. Because now, there aren't really any more upgrades to my equipment that I can ask for. I've got a great computer, an Elgato, an AV to HDMI converter, a 2DS capture card, a Blue Yeti mic, 1080p Logitech webcam. I have the means to record virtually every game I own through legitimate means. Looking back on the last year, it's been more about healing and growth and improvement of myself. That's the theme of the year to me. I enrolled in an online course called Stream Coach Academy around 9 months ago, where they gave me tips and worksheets on finding my content niche, how to improve my discoverability, these sorts of things, along with more stuff like leveraging Twitter. I have graduated, but I haven't finished all of the coursework yet. I've been wanting to make a video on my experience with that, but I want to finish the coursework first. A few months ago, I got myself into counseling, so I'm getting some mental health help too. Might surprise you to find out, stuff's in my head, someone fucky wucky. I figure, in the spirit of growth and improvement, to look back on what it was like for me before and reveal to you some of my personal struggles over the years during my time online and even before then. This won't be a comprehensive list of every single trauma, it's more of an overview. Here are the main struggles I've had to deal with that I'm comfortable talking to you about today. Those struggles that I'll talk about today are anxiety and depression. I first noticed something was off during my middle school years. That's when my mental health took a turn for the worse. I didn't know exactly what was going on at the time. I didn't know that the stuff I was feeling and experiencing had a name. I was feeling a lot worse compared to even a year before I started middle school. And there were a lot of things that contributed to that. One, I had just moved into the area when starting middle school. 2, the kids in my middle school knew too much for their age. 3, emo was a new trend among teenagers, a perfect snowball of terrible. Things did get better for me mentally when I moved away from there. The people at my high schools, that's 2 high schools, were a lot better. Things weren't all a-okay upstairs, but it was a lot better. But I didn't think it was out of place at the time. I thought I was just sensitive. Where I really had my first inkling that my anxiety was also off was when I was about 18 years old. I'd recently finished playing Metal Gear Solid 2, and I had a nightmare where I was in a similar situation. Spec Ops agent on a world crisis prevention mission, and it was emphasized that there would be mass destruction if I failed, and failure wasn't an option, and on and on. It got too much for me, and I woke up, and I was just anxious beyond belief. Went to the bathroom to splash some water on my face and try to calm down. The vividity I felt from that nightmare is something I can hardly remember now. Maybe because I felt worst anxiety since. I did see a doctor to get some help at 21 after a crisis. I got a diagnosis of generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, and got medication for it. I also strongly suspected I had depression and got prescribed an antidepressant, which I didn't stick with. But most of my visits with the specialist focused on my anxiety. It somehow didn't click in my brain that I had also been diagnosed with depression. That was something I only realized after it was pointed out by my counselor. Since I got prescribed an antidepressant, I got diagnosed with depression. And that was like a month or 2 ago when I learned that. I suspected depression since I was a teenager, but I didn't have the evidence for it. I still thought I didn't have the evidence for depression until I talked about it with my counselor. Anxiety, though, I didn't know about. It wasn't until I got diagnosed with it that I even had any idea about anxiety and anxiety disorders. But the GAD did explain a lot of stuff too. It's oddly relieving to find out that what you're going through has a name. My mental illnesses have held me back a lot. It's made a lot of things harder. It's kept me from doing stuff I needed to do and wanted to do. It gets crippling, honestly. I have to think about if I have the capacity to do the chores and errands that day, if I have the spoons, as it were. And it's something I've hardly talked about in my content up until this point. These have been issues for the better part of my life now. And there's a lot of contributing factors and offshoots to them that I'm not talking about today, because in my initial draft, I did, and it just depressed the hell out of me for days, but I'm still here. I'm still trying. I'm still doing stuff in spite of what I've just talked about and more. Not all of what's going on is on screen, and nor should it be. But I hope that with this video, y'all can understand me better, maybe even be inspired. This has been Captain Playguy with the 10-year Playguyaversary. Thank you all for watching, and I look forward to what the next year has in store.